What's up, wrestling fans? My name is Joe Cronin, and as I promised you, we have the owner, I believe, and creator of WrestleCrate on the line with us here as we sit down for this WrestleCrate interview, which I think needed to happen because there's so many questions and so much excitement. And, you know, this is I believe, the second box of WrestleCrate, only the second one so far, right, Ed?
That is correct. Yeah, box number 2 just launched.
So this is box number 2 that just came out. And right away, what made you decide to do this from the start? Because I've been thinking about a WrestleCrate type of idea for a while and said, wow, that'd be cool if there was one, and maybe I should do it. And then I just kind of sat back and waited, and then bam, out comes yours. And I got pretty excited about it right when I heard about it. How did you guys come up with it?
Me and my son were big wrestling fans. I've always been one since I was a kid, and we did like the Loot Crate stuff and stuff like that. And just one day we got a Loot Crate, and my son was a little upset with it. He's like, "Is there a wrestling Loot Crate?" And I was like, "I don't know. Let me look." So I done some digging on Google and stuff, and there was nothing out there. So I just said, "Heck with it. Let's make one," and just kind of rolled with it from there.
That's awesome. That's literally, that's awesome.
Yeah, really, my son's the one that really came up with it. It's the funny thing because he asked the question, and I never really thought about it. And then I was like, well, let's do one, dude. And, I mean, he's 8, so he kind of put some input into it, but he's the one that really came up with it, and I just kind of went with it and did it.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I said something similar, and obviously I'm so busy with all this stuff, I didn't feel like coordinating another effort, so I never bothered doing it, and nobody else ever thought of it either. But I'm glad that it finally happened and that you finally released it. And this is the second box, and that's how it started. That's a crazy way for it to start. That's really cool. So do you is this becoming, because I know this is brand new, it's only the second box. After the first box, were you at the point where you said, wow, this is way, we're not doing as much as I thought, and it's a slow progression, or it's, whoa, this is overwhelming, we had more response than we thought? How was the response with the first box?
It was huge. It's a lot more than I expected, and then it was funny, me and my fiance, we kind of had like a little bet. I thought it was going to be a number, and she thought it was going to be, a little bit lower, and then, I mean, it was like 10 times both of our numbers, and so it was crazy. We were blown away by the first one, and we're just taken back, like, oh my God, and it's just turned into kind of crazy since the first one.
That's cool. That's what I was worried about, because I said, this there's no one doing this, and how hard was it to set it up? Because I don't know. I mean, you could do something really quickly, but you can tell when receiving it. Obviously, it's the first box so far, but it's actually still well put together for you just kind of coming up with it and then putting it together and getting it out there. It's only the second box. I think a lot of people, didn't understand that. And it just started. So how hard was it how long between the time your son and you came up with, let's do that, to it actually coming out?
Probably, I think the first crate launched on April 23rd. I think my website went live on around the first or second week of March, and it was probably the 1st of January, when we came up with it. And right when I came up with it, I checked and see if the name was there or was still there, so I bought the rights to the name, and I got it trademarked, and once I got all that stuff done, I started, contacting distributors, to get the stuff, and then got the website built, got all my connections with the distributors, and once we were ready to rock and roll, I started ordering the product, and, as we got more and more subscriptions, I had to keep on calling them back and getting more product because I didn't expect it to be as much as it was going to be.
Wow, yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. And the good thing, I mean, I guess the good thing is going forward, you can adjust now, you can probably, because you obviously lose every time you try to order more from distributors. It's better to order it all at once, so now you'll get a better idea. What's the jump been like between box 1 and box 2?
We doubled from 1 to 2.
I should have got on this. I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah, and we're getting pretty good reviews from the second one. From a personal standpoint, I wanted 2 to be the first one. I wanted number 2 to be the one that number 1 to be the one that wowed people. But it ended up being number 2, just because of logistics and being able to get certain items and things like that. It just didn't work out quite as I wanted it to for number one. But, you know, one was still a good box, but I think two is a better representation of what it will be going forward.
I think that's true, and I noticed that too about that. I know there's some discrepancies with the first one, and every time I spoke with somebody about what you know what I mean, most people love the first one, but if there was anybody that had to worry about the first one, I said, you know, look at this. This is their first ever box. Like, this is the first one, you know. But one of the biggest questions coming out of my unboxing from just yesterday is that the Ultimate Crate, or is that, I assume that's got to be the Ultimate Crate, the one that I opened, right?
Yeah, that was the Ultimate Crate. The biggest difference in the two is obviously the Ultimate's just going to have more stuff in it, and you know we'll have like the Elite figures in it from Mattel,
right?
And you know those it just isn't. It wouldn't work to have those figures in the $14.99 version, just because of the price point.
Yeah, I mean, and for anybody, I mean, those three items alone, like the DVD, I didn't even count the T-shirt, but yeah, the DVD, the figure. And then just the T-shirt. The T-shirt, the DVD, and the figure can total like about $35.99 right there, you know. Or
yeah.
You know, so that already right there, the box is there. I feel like you're paying for two things with these crates. The first thing you get is the excitement of opening a box, like, and not knowing really what's in there, or just being excited for it. So that's kind of an experience that you're getting from opening the crate. So never mind looking at the box and trying to find out if you got your money's worth. You are going to get that every time, it seems like. But you're getting the experience, and you're able to open it on YouTube and post the pictures and all that stuff. Plus you're getting the items, and I did the math with the Ultimate Crate. You're getting it all for less. So it really is worth it when you look at it, especially with the second box.
Yeah, definitely, and it's the same way for the standard version too. You know, I don't want people to feel cheated with the standard version, because, I mean, the standard version you pretty much get double your value in it. Also, I mean, this month's standard had a T-shirt, a pop vinyl in it, the Seth Rollins card, and a koozie. Well, the T-shirt, it's $20 on a barbershop window, and pop vinyl's what, $12.50 or whatever. Mm-hmm. So that's $32.50 right there for $14.99.
Oh yeah.
So you know, I don't want people to feel cheated out of the standard, but because it's a great box too.
Yes.
You know, I just wanted to set two price points to be able to put, you know, some little bit better stuff in the Ultimate.
Yeah, and I think it's worth it. I think it's a lot of fun for the Ultimate. I would if tomorrow, you know what I mean, I had to go out and get some, you know, for my son or for me or whatever, I would go with the Ultimate, because it was cool, and it's only, you know, it's both price points. You're going to get more than your money is worth, plus you're getting the experience of opening it. That's why crates are doing well. That's why people go, why are people opening these crates? Why are they paying to have these monthly subscriptions? It's because you're getting value and an experience, and that's what sells it. Now, looking at the that answered that question too, by the way. I had so many people ask me that question. I told them I believed it was the Ultimate, but I also wasn't sure. So now we've clarified that. Now, other people have been asking, can you ship this outside the U.S. at this time?
Yes, we ship to the U.K., Ireland, Mexico, New Zealand, the U.S., and Australia right now.
Wow.
It is a little expensive to ship out of the country because of the size and the weight of the box. We're trying the best we can to find, you know, every day we look for cheaper shippers for out of the country, because I think for the UK it's like $23 or something we charge, and I think it's really like $23.49 when we actually, you know, print out the label. So we actually lose money by doing that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm just trying the best I can to lower the price.
Yeah, it's hard to ship.
It's tough making the box smaller because, you know, the Elite figures won't fit in any smaller box. And so, I don't know. We're working on a couple different things to try to lower the shipping costs for out of the country.
Yeah, a lot of these questions can be found on WrestleCrate.com under the in the frequently asked questions and a lot of the other stuff. But I know a lot of people don't make their way over there or don't get to see it, and that's why I think this will be important too. You know, some other people mentioned, like they said, I had questions. I had a question like from the second one. People are loving the second box. I've seen an increase of openings on YouTube, which is great. You know, it doesn't matter who it is, small-time people even, like guys who are getting 30 views, but, you know, 30 subs, 30 views, all those people are coming out and opening the box on YouTube. So that's really cool. I've seen an increase in that traffic because last month I was able to search WrestleCrate and find a certain amount of people, and now I'm able to find a whole, you know, load of people. And also Grimm's Toy Show's opening them now too, which that's good that he's got one over there. He's probably helping out a lot too, because people don't know if they don't see it on YouTube. They don't know. I feel like it's really hard to get the name out there. Are you doing anything else besides YouTube? To get the name out there. Are you going into like magazines or doing other types of advertisement or?
Yeah, I've worked with the magazines I've worked with so far. Over in the UK, I worked with Calling Spots. They're the ones who actually provided the Seth Rollins in this month's crate.
Everyone pronounced the name wrong. I remember that.
Yes. Everybody's like, why doesn't he have a face? It's kind of their thing that, like, all of their art, none of the wrestlers have faces, so it's pretty cool. And I've just done magazines and stuff over in the UK. Here locally, I've done some stuff in the Cincinnati area at Raw. I did a pretty big handout and was there giving out T-shirts and a whole bunch of stuff, and that turned out pretty well. We're looking to do some other stuff, but, I mean, everything has pretty much grown from the Twitter, YouTube. We've done all this business, basically, the majority of it just from Twitter and YouTube, and it's crazy to think that has such an impression and could sell so much from just those two mediums that, it's hard to branch out away from it when it's done so well already.
Yeah, and it's easier. Usually it's pretty easy. It depends on the personality, but there's a lot, like when I was doing my website, I was dealing with a lot of like distributors and Pokemon cards and Magic the Gathering cards and things like that. And I would just send a box to a YouTuber who had 500,000 subs or I sent one to a guy who had 10,000 subs, and that produced tons of orders, and it was all just, I gave him the box, he said he'd be happy to open it, and that was it. You know what I mean? The next thing you know, it's a huge amount of business for not having to really pay a whole lot for that advertising. Other than sending him the box.
Right. Yeah. When we first got started, that's kind of how we got launched. I've known Matt Hardy a little bit. I've done some security for him at a Brian Pillman Memorial Show in Cincinnati, probably back in 2001 or something. But I got a hold of him, and he kind of did a video, little video for me. Kind of promoting it in the beginning before it even launched, and that helped a lot. And then I sent some promotional boxes to Grimm and to Michael Green, Kid Behind the Camera, and then that's just those three things there got it launched and pretty much on the map.
Yeah, no doubt. It's unbelievable. I did see Matt Hardy's video. In fact, I think he's the one I saw that got me to say, "Oh, somebody did it," and there it is. So that's the first time I heard about it. And then I speak with Grimm via Twitter sometimes in Twitter messages, and we started talking about it. And I was also asking JD from New York. So, because we all talk, so it's like we all started,
right.
Hey, did you hear about it? Did you get it? What's going to be in it? So you've got us talking about it. My video is legitimate, like, excitement. Like, I was legitimately pumped up to open that thing up. And actually surprised at what I got. Ultimate crate, standard crate, it doesn't matter. I was pumped up at what I got in that box. So it did its job, and that was totally legit. In fact, I was so excited I couldn't even name the people on the T-shirt, like Juventud Guerrero and Tiger. I just couldn't even on the T-shirt because I was just so I was shaking. Like, let's get to the next thing.
Right.
Now that being said, man, something I wanted to ask you about was going forward in the future. Do you have now that it's grown times two? I only expect it grows because usually these things keep growing for a little while and then they sort of plateau a little bit. Then they start either slowly going up or slowly going back and bouncing around. Do you already have everything planned out for the next coming Loot Crates, or do you expect certain themes to happen, or right now is it just kind of whatever you get and you can put it in the box?
I eventually do want to go to themes. I think that'd be pretty cool. I've thought about that, and I've kind of worked some themes out, just on paper, saying, okay, I could do this, I could do that. I kind of have it pre-planned for, the next 3 months of what I want to do. And, that could change at any time based on product availability and different things like that. And then also, things happen where people contact me and say, hey, I have this great item, would you mind putting it in the box, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds cool, and I'll do it this month, just because it catches my attention that way, and then, I just change it up a little bit and add something and move something down the line a little bit. So it changes a little bit, but for the most part, everything is pre-planned, but it could always change. It's kind of the funny thing about it.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm getting excited. I wish I was doing it. Now, are you doing? Were you doing something else for a job before, or is this like taking over that, or are you doing both things still, or is this?
I still have a full-time job and run this. This is kind of taking over the full-time job. I'm not, sure how much longer that will last. But I'm still trying to keep both of them, because my regular job, I've been there for 15 years or whatever, and I'm trying to hold on to it. But
yep.
This is getting so overwhelming and so big. I just don't know if I'll be able to hold on to both.
Yeah, well, I know how you feel. I mean, even doing my, I'm not quite there yet. I mean, like someone like Grimm is there, but yeah, even doing this is my part-time, but I must maintain that full-time. So, but I know that you're going to get bigger. I know that the next box is going to be even bigger. So, because word is just now sort of clicking with people, because I'm getting questions just now saying, what is this? Where can I get the box, Joe? And the other thing is, those are some of the biggest questions, so I'm pretty excited to be able to tell you guys, if you're watching the video, now you can go over to WrestleCrate.com, you can order the Ultimate or the Standard, whatever you can do, it doesn't matter, you're going to get more than your money's worth, so, I recommend the Ultimate, because that's what you saw me open, and it blew me away, but if you can't do that, the Standard is awesome as well, and maybe I'll be doing a Standard box, actually, one of these times, too, or something, so that you can see exactly what a Standard box, or you know what, don't even wait for me. Go on YouTube and just look up other people's unboxings of it. That's all you have to do.
The good thing about it is every box is going to have a T-shirt, and the T-shirts come from Pro Wrestling Tees and from Barbershop Window Tees, and the shirts are $20 each on on the website. So automatically, if you decide just to go with the Standard, you're already guaranteed a $20 shirt for $15, and there's going to be more than just a shirt in there. So. Even if you do just go with a Standard, you're pretty much guaranteed a shirt every single month. Yeah,
the shirts alone are like you said, are worth it. Maybe you'll get my shirt one of these times. I'm on Pro Wrestling Tees.
Yeah, we get a call and talk to the guy, and we'll throw it in there.
He looked at half of my T-shirts over there are horrific. There's two of them.
I might have to check it out.
Two of them are terrible. There's one or two that are good, and then the other two are just god awful. Like they shouldn't even be up there. But I have to go in and I actually have to email them or give them a call over there and have them take it down because it's not taking it down on my side. It's kind of funny. Someone said, Joe, that show is terrible. Now, what about shirts for you guys? I know that you're doing WrestleCrate, but are you guys going to have T-shirts on Pro Wrestling Tees, you think, ever? You think that would be something you would do? That's
that's kind of in the works. We talked about it a little bit. And I think that will pop up in the next few months where we're going to get a couple designs and have a couple shirts up there on Pro Wrestling Tees.
That'd be cool.
That definitely has been talked about, yeah.
All right, you get the face, the wrestling mask, then you get the crate box below them, and then you get crazy monster arms that rip out of the box holding on to the DVDs, and then the feet can be rings. I don't know. But
there we go.
Yeah, I'm terrible at shirts. That's why those shirts are terrible. So how did you get? So you've obviously been a wrestling fan. That's what sparked this whole thing. How long have you been watching wrestling?
For as long as I can remember. I told the story before, but like my first memory of wrestling, I went over to the Cincinnati Gardens. If anybody's from this area, they know it's like an old beat down coliseum that isn't even used anymore. And I remember going there and seeing Hogan back in the day, and then after the show was over, we would go out to the parking lot to try to catch the wrestlers and get autographs or whatever. And like I just remember Nikolai Volkov and the Iron Sheik coming by, just totally filling character and cussing out the parent and telling the kids to get the hell away from them. And it was such a magical experience, and just seeing them there like larger than life. And then like ever since that point, I've just always been one.
That was I miss those days when they would just completely be in character. Now it's almost like, hey, take it easy. It's not real. I liked when they were committed like that. I cringe some. I do like the transparency now, but I sometimes I cringe when they're so open. You know what I mean? I freak out a little bit.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'd rather it just be like it was.
I don't know. I don't think I was. I think I might have been. I was born in '84, so I started watching like when I was in '87 or something. I went back and watched the last 4 WrestleManias that I missed, the first 4, because my first WrestleMania that I saw was Macho Man and Hulk Hogan. A lot of the people I talk to now are like, "Oh, I remember my first WrestleMania. It was The Rock versus Hulk Hogan or something." Right. And I'm like, "Oh."
CM Punk and Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, that's the even weirder ones. Yeah, those. But there's a lot of new fans. It's always filtering in and out with wrestling fans. I think WrestleCrate's a lot of fun. I'm really excited about it. I was really happy about that box that I opened up. And you guys can go to WrestleCrate.com and enter in coupon code Joe Sent Me. That's my coupon code, and you're going to get 10% off the box, which is already a deal, and now you're going to get 10% off. So WrestleCrate.com, Joe Sent Me, and you can get the WrestleCrate. Ed, are you expanding too now? Are you still able to do this on your own? Or are you having like friends help you? Are you hiring people? What's going on?
Well, right now I got friends and family that are helping out, packing boxes and things like that, and catching orders for me when they come in. But I'm almost to the point where I've got warehouse space that I'm going to have to use and start doing everything out of a warehouse. And so, I mean, it's grown. When I first started, it was all out of a spare bedroom in my house.
Right.
But now it's grown to where I just grown out of the house. I just can't do it in the house anymore because it's just too overwhelming and stuff was everywhere. And
I'm the same way. I thought when I thought about starting some crate things and really seriously doing it, I thought about that exact thing. Like, this is going to turn into a nightmare unless I'm committed. Unless you're committed to knowing what you're doing, this could blow up, and you're going to have to go think about a warehouse. So it's crazy that it's at that point already. That's awesome news.
Yeah.
And
it's good because I have a friend who owns a warehouse, and he has some spare space in his because he has a business. So he has an office and some space for me. So that all worked out pretty easier than I thought it would.
That's awesome. What do you think about Elimination Chamber tonight?
I like it. It's kind of weird, I was thinking about it, how it was just kind of thrown on us, like, hey, we're going to have Elimination Chamber in a couple weeks, and that just kind of threw me off. But I think it will be good, just getting past not understanding where it came from. Some of the matches, I don't know, just Rollins and Ambrose I definitely want to see. I don't know. The rest of the card, Cena and Owens, I'm cool with, but the rest of the card, I'm like, it would be kind of cool to see the tag team in the Elimination Chamber. That would be different.
Well, originally I was really excited for just the IC match. I thought because the King of the Ring, they did the King of the Ring and they only had like 3 matches, and it was like a special little event on the network. I thought that was cool. Even though it wasn't a full pay-per-view, I thought it was really neat that they were just like, oh yeah, let's go ahead and just have this extra little thing. And now they've kind of done that with Elimination Chamber. But initially, I thought it was just going to be for the IC title, and they were going to feature it in the chamber, and it was a bonus match. And then all of a sudden, they added matches and added this, and then Kevin Owens and Cena, and now it's a full pay-per-view, and it's a bonus, pay-per-view that we're getting. So, like, because it's a bonus out of nowhere, I'm actually excited about it because it's like, just out of nowhere, we're going to get a pay-per-view. And I think that that's pretty exciting. I'm actually more excited for this because of the fact that it's bizarrely out of nowhere in a weird way.
Right, yeah, that is the cool. Like I said, I was like just taken back from it, like, well, that's kind of weird where'd that come from.
Right, like no build up.
And things like this, you never know what's going to happen. Like, what's the reason behind this? There has to be, could it be some crazy reason behind why it came like this, and it's going to be just an awesome show, and crazy stuff's going to happen that you didn't even expect,
Yeah, I hope so. I hope that's what we do get. Well, Ed, I want to thank you very much for checking me out and reaching out to me and letting me reach out to you and finding me on Twitter and doing this. I think the WrestleCrate's been great. I think I'm very thankful for the one I got to open. I hope we answered everybody's questions. If they had anything they wanted to clear up about WrestleCrate, there is one other thing actually. A lot of people would say they haven't even signed up yet, but they said, hey, is it easy to cancel it?
Oh yeah, it's easy. All you do is there's a cancel. You can cancel it straight from the website. And to cancel it like just basically deactivates your account, and then going forward you won't be charged anymore, for the next crate or whatever. But then, like, if you want to take a few months off or whatever, you could go right back in, use the same email and password, and reactivate the account. So it's pretty simple. The only thing that's a little different with it is if you cancel after the rebuild date, you have to let us know if you want the crate or if you want a refund.
Okay.
That's the only little tricky part, because after you've been rebuild and then you cancel, you're like, well, do you want this crate and then cancel, or do you want your money back? So it's a kind of funny little thing that we're trying to work through, and emailing people and say, hey, what's your intentions? You want this crate? And it seems more often than not than people want the crate.
Yeah.
But they just wanted to cancel for the next
month.
The next one, yeah. So,
yeah, maybe there could
but
be.
But then you get some people who get pissed and are like, "No, I want my money back," and you're like, "Oh man."
Oh yeah. Well, maybe you can have like a like an order date or something, and then the shipping date of the crate. That way, if you haven't canceled by the order date, the crate's coming out. I don't know. It's difficult. I dealt with refund stuff too, and it's hard. When you get a lot of them back at once or something like that, you're not expecting it. So yeah, hopefully it makes sense to everybody. But if you have any questions, you can always tweet them or email you, I guess. You can ask me, I'll ask, whatever you got to do. Basically, try it out. I think all the questions have been answered. Can people reach out to you guys on Twitter, and where can they get in contact with you guys?
Absolutely. Reach out to us on Twitter. We try to do our best to answer all the questions we can on Twitter. I think we do a fantastic job at customer service and talking to people and listening to them, hear what they have to say about the crates, and that's one of my favorite parts about this job is the fans of the crate and seeing them unbox it and seeing them like it and then them tweet the stuff and asking questions. I love that whole part of it. It's one of my favorite things. And the funny thing about it is, when I first started this, I think like the first couple of weeks I went on the Reddit and was kind of trying to promote it, and people kind of laughed me off Reddit like, oh, okay, I don't want John Cena figures from 2002, kind of thinking that's what was going to be in a crate. So, I just kind of laughed back at them like, all right.
Yeah, I got an awesome Wade Barrett.
It really is.
I got a sick Wade Barrett with his entrance cape elite figure. I mean, I don't know, like it was great.
Right. That was I started a Reddit thing, kind of trying to promote it, and that's what the whole thing turned into. Like, yeah, right, we're just going to get Cena figures from '01, and like, oh, okay.
Well, that's why seeing is believing, and the YouTube thing worked out better than anything because there's nothing you can do. This is the guy open it, and if you're out there and you're like, oh yeah, Grimm they sent Grimm a special one, or they sent Joe a special one, just go watch other people's videos, just regular people who don't even make a lot of YouTube videos, but they happen to make one for WrestleCrate. Go watch them open theirs. You'll see it's the same stuff mostly, depending on which crate they got. It's the same thing.
Yeah, it's completely random. I mean, I didn't do anything special for anybody. I packed a few boxes, but for the most part, my people who packed boxes. All they had was the names and the addresses, and so that's how it was.
It's not a promo box that I got. That's the biggest question you get sometimes, a promo box. No matter what I get, I got something a couple months back. It was like that, but no, it's not a promo. It's the exact crate that you can get. It's random. Because if it wasn't random, I would have got Daniel Bryan. So there you go. How about that? No, I got Wade Barrett. And it was awesome. Actually, Leah, my soon-to-be wife, she loves Barrett, so she was like, "Are you kidding me?" She's like, "I'm taking that. I'm taking that."
And that was a funny thing too about the whole Kevin Owens, Kevin Steen thing. The Ring of Honor DVD. I got a lot of like, oh, that was placed there, perfect timing.
Yeah.
Like, they're geniuses, or saying that like perfect timing for the Steen Ring of Honor DVD. So that was pretty funny.
Well, you can't see it, but I got like 50 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Shredder dolls. Can you get rid of these? And WWE Topps cards everywhere. But Ed, thank you very much. I hope you guys enjoyed the interview here. I hope you check out WrestleCrate, WrestleCrate.com, and find them on Twitter too and Facebook and everywhere. And they've really been pretty cool. Go watch the unboxings. Go get yours. Unbox it. Tweet me your unboxings. Send me your videos. Whatever you can, I'll get them over there. I'm gonna kind of put a compilation together of it. So leave it in the comments below if there's questions that we didn't answer here today that you wanted to ask. Leave it in the comments below, and we can relay them back to Ed. And I hope you enjoy it. WrestleCrate.com. Enter in coupon code Joe Sent Me, and enjoy Elimination Chamber tonight.
WrestleCrate!